President Trump promised mass deportations, and that is what he's working to do. But are riots and radicals spooking voters now that it's happening? Brand new Fox News polling out tonight, giving us a clearer picture.
Trump's best job performance rating is on border security at 53% approval, a bit lower on immigration as a whole at 46% approval. So how about ICE? Well, that is splitting the country right down party lines. 83% of Republicans, of course, they back their enforcement, while about the same percentage of Democrats disapprove, so no surprise there.
That division fueling protests and even riots that have many Republicans worried. Almost 80% say they're concerned about unrest in U.S. cities. Rightfully so in Los Angeles. The scene became so tense, President Trump had to call in the National Guard, a move more than half of Americans found inappropriate. Did they think Governor Gavin Newsom could handle it?
No.
Also, no way, no how. His favorability sits at a cherry 39%.
In fact, Democrats as a whole are highly unlikable, which has caused the party of woke to go broke after flushing $1 billion down the drain with Kamala's sad campaign. It's just getting worse for the DNC. According to the New York Times, quote, the Democratic National Committee's financial situation has grown so bleak that top officials have discussed whether they might need to borrow money this year just to keep paying the bills.
Woof. And one anonymous DNC member calling Chair Kevin Martin, quote, weak, whiny, and invisible. Maybe they think Obama could be the solution to all their problems. Who's slithering his way back into the spotlight as his party searches for a leader.
You could still make a lot of money. You could still hang out in, Aspen and Milan and travel and have a house in the Hamptons and still think of yourself as a progressive. And now things are a little different. Your commitments are being tested.
For more, let's bring in former Democratic Pennsylvania Congressman Patrick Murphy and former New York City Councilman Joe Borelli. Patrick, to you first. So have the Democrats actually hit rock bottom? Are they ready for rehab? A real rehab? Because that was an awfully rich former president kind of lecturing about something he knows nothing about.
Well, Dagan and Dave, thanks for having me on. I do think the Democrats need to read the room and read the country. And the reality of it is this, is that we don't have the White House, we don't have the Supreme Court, we don't have the House of Representatives or the Senate, so we better wake up. But listen, it's always darkest before dawn, Dagan. And when you see in 2004, John Kerry lost the presidential race. But what happened? Leaders like Barack Obama did step up and won in 2008 and again in 2012. I think that people are looking for Washington, D.C. for leadership. They need to be looking at the states, young, new generation type leaders like Governor Josh Shapiro, Governor Wes Moore, folks who are getting things done.
Well, you make a great point, but Joe Borelli, the fact of the matter is they're bringing out Obama to raise money. And I know our friend here has seen this before, but these figures of what happened to the Democratic Party when Obama was in power, yes, he was a two-termer, but the Democrats lost 12 U.S. Senate seats during Obama's two terms. They lost 63 congressional seats. They lost 939 state legislator seats and 12 governor seats. I mean, Obama was not good for the party as a whole. And they think somehow he's going to bring them luck in the coming years. I don't see it. Do you?
No, and they sort of treat him like the Mariano Rivera of this party, as though he's going to come in the ninth inning and save them. But the Democrats aren't the Yankees. They're the Savannah Bananas. And at the end of the day, they are at the 20% margin of all of the 20% 80-20 issues. That's their major problem going into the next election cycle. It's not that there's going to be some reaction against Trump. We already know historically that's a likely scenario that will happen. The problem is they can't fill the void with any substance. They still have, even though they lost the election based on immigration, they still have federal, state, and local politicians throwing themselves, trying to get arrested by ICE officers, making a scene, trying to double down on sanctuary city policies. This is a recipe for disaster, and I am 100% here for it. I have my popcorn ready.
Hey, David, can I just mention something? One, I love the Yankees analogy. I'm a Phillies guy, but Joe, I do appreciate the analogy. Let's talk about substance. Let's talk about Barack Obama and what he did for our country. The 75 straight months of job growth, the stock market that went up 180%. The fact that after a decade,
Patrick,
we took out bin Laden.
We
Didn't
need
help
to
the party.
wait, we need to move on.
Sure.
But you just identified the problem. You're talking about Barack Obama. And this moves on, but this moves on to our next topic. Biden. Go ahead.
Well, not helping the Democrats' money troubles, the lack of trust from the American public. That's the big problem. New Fox polling showing that 68% say the Biden White House was not transparent about his mental fitness. That's including a majority of Democrats.
More than half of Americans also want Congress and the Department of Justice to investigate Joe Biden's use of the auto pen. Half want a probe on who was making key decisions. That goes down to 44% on who was covering up a mental decline. That's what you've got to recover from, Patrick. So, an entire cohort of Democrats, not just in the White House, but on the outside, including people like Barack Obama and all of his ilk, who were lying to the American people.
Yeah, David, I've been here in studio with you. I looked you in the eye, and I looked the American people in the eye, and I said, listen, I said when Joe Biden was president that we do need a new generation of leaders. He's 82, Donald Trump's 79. It is what it is. But let's be clear. We need other folks to step up, not the Washington establishment. We need folks that put our country first
you're right.
and want to work together and not be so partisan out there.
Yeah, Pat, I agree with you on that. And Joe, I just have one quick question, one answer. Are you going to run for mayor of New York? Yes or no?
No, not this time. But to the congressman's point, he mentioned Wes Moore and Josh Shapiro. The party passed over those two guys for Kamala Harris. That's part of the problem. They don't even need talent when they have a few bright spots.
All right, gentlemen.
Because they don't love a yellow school bus the way that she does.
We got to leave it at that. Joe, Patrick, good to see you both. Good spirits. Appreciate it.